Welcome to all of you. This is the next to last class for this series on Vishuddha Chakra. My name is Garrison-Brook and I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be focusing on two things today. We're going to be focusing on perspective and positionalities. And I've got, some good things to share. I'm reading this book right now, which is called What Happened to You. It's by Dr. Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. It's a brand new book. Cooper bought it. And I was like, dude, can I read your book? He's like, sure. It's Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing. And I've got a really good story in here that Bruce Perry shares, which is about perspective. So I'll be sharing that with you. So I invite you to take a seat. Come to a seat. I'm going to re-angle my camera. And we're going to get centered. So an easy seat on a block or a cushion, whatever works for you. You heard them on Brene Brown's podcast. Cool. Oh, where was I in Osmita-san? They were talking about this book. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Nice. So coming to an easy seat, rubbing the hands together. And then bring those hands together into Anjali Mudra, a gesture of devotion. The base of the thumbs lightly touch the sternum. Eyes are closed. And allow yourself to drop down. Dropping in here to this moment, to this body, to this practice. Breathing into a sense of gratitude. Opening the heart. And begin to just set an intention. Setting an intention for you to examine your perspectives and your positionality. Softly, compassionately, just bringing awareness to your perspectives and your positionality, and we'll talk more about that as class unfolds. Nice big inhale, and let's Om in. Inhaling. Our backs. Getting your block or cushion out of the way. Come on down, hug the knees into the chest and rock it out, back and forth. Swing those knees around. And as I was thinking about class today, perspectives and positionalities and kind of the way we see the world, what came to mind for me was like a ball of yarn that's gotten all kind of tangled up, stretching those legs out. And then let's bring our right knee into our chest. Hug it in. And, this ball of yarn has just gotten all tangled up. And we're, on the mat, so much of what we're doing is untangling these knots. From a chakra standpoint, there are 3 knots that live in the body. And one is at, the first one is at the first chakra. The second one is at the 4th. And the third is at the 6th. Okay? And, what I was thinking about, stretch those arms overhead, stretch the legs long. is this tangled ball of yarn. If you want to think about it that way, hug the left knee into the body, stretching out the sacrum, stretching out the lumbar spine. And then twist it open. Just really wringing out the spine, waking up the spine, being gentle. Inhale that knee into the chest. And exhale the arms overhead. So, if you're like, okay, I really want to get rid of this ball of tangled craziness, so let me get out the scissors. Let's start cutting away. That's not, a great solution. And, as we work to untangle these knots that we've created over our lifetimes, just twisting open. We twist on the exhale, and we hug the knee in on the inhale. These strands, these threads, they're part of us. We don't want to go in there with a machete or scissors. We want to be kind, we want to be compassionate, and we need to be patient. Switching to the other leg, hug that left knee in. So this process, and there's no doubt that it's not a measured process. There will be times when something will really land with you and you'll make a nice leap forward. And then there will be other times where you'll just slowly move, incrementally move yourself, evolve yourself forward, remembering that life is long. Hug the knee into the chest and extend the leg long, arms overhead. Roll the feet on the ankles, roll the hands on the wrists. And if you like to rock and roll, we're going to rock and roll now. We're going to get some momentum going, and then we're going to come up to standing. If this feels good on the long muscles of the spine, back and forth. I very often get a chiropractic adjustment, a nice little realignment of my spine when I do this, and it's supposed to be very healing for the neurological systems of the body to rock and roll like this. Let's do 3 more. And last one, get some good momentum and see if you can come all the way up to standing. And stretch up overhead. Shoulders are down. Really breathe those palms up. Soften the knees. Stand here in your Urdhva Hastasana. Taking up space. Feel yourself here like a channel of light. And then exhale. Come on down. And we'll do our Carl style breath. Now, Jennifer, we heard you, even though you're not here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale down. Inhale, arms still hang heavy here in your Uttanasana. And then with a Carl style breath, what we do is we count down our exhale. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where it becomes very independent for you, because you might be able to go for a while and you're continually exhaling. You're never inhaling between the counts. You're just counting down, counting down, counting down until it's the tiniest whisper, and then squeeze the air out of the lungs. And then as you're ready, you inhale up. So you might come out of sync with us depending on how long your exhale is, and that's totally fine. All we're doing is going through a Surya Namaskar breath, which means we inhale the arms up, and then we exhale as we come on down. We inhale, we arch up halfway, flat back. And then we exhale and start our Carl style exhale, counting down. 1, 2, 3,
4. And do this mindfully. Make sure that you're not sneaking in little inhales as you're counting. All the way down to that sub-whisper. And then squeeze it out. We're wringing out the lungs. And then we inhale those arms up as we're ready. At our own pace. It's okay. We don't need to be synchronized. Hands to the heart space. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Carl Stout, inhale those arms up. He was fondly referred to as Dr. Breath. Even though he was not a doctor. Exhale, come on down. He came to believe that the health of our respiratory system rests in our exhale. And he also talked, go ahead and do your Carl Stout breath here. Inhaling and then exhale, count it down. He believed that the importance of the exhale is because a lot of stale air winds up parked in our lungs. So by cleansing the lungs, this is, I jokingly say this is like the equivalent of brushing your teeth. We should cleanse our lungs, clear our lungs at least every day. And then inhale up as you're ready. Let's do 2 more rounds. Because as I shared with y'all yesterday, for those of you who were in class yesterday, a lot of us breathe in the upper third, the upper lobe of the lungs. And the bottom 2 lobes of the lungs just have parked air, stale air, which is not oxygenated. It's effectively us, not utilizing the full potential of our lungs to energize ourselves, which is why this breath is so powerful. It brings oxygenation, is the key to us energizing our bodies. So really counting all the way down until it's the tiniest whisper, and then squeeze the air out. And then you inhale again. Coming up. Hands to the heart space. Let's do the last one. So a story to share, which is out of this book, What Happened to You. And it's Bruce Perry talks about this story where he was traveling home and wound up stuck in some airport because of weather. It was like a snowstorm, and they were sitting there for hours, and he saw this young couple who was following this 3-year-old around, this little girl, tired, but letting her explore her world. She was journeying around. And they were there for hours, and after a few hours had passed, inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. And let's step the right leg back. Handspring the left foot. So after a few hours, a man stands up and he goes to the gate agent and he's just furious. Okay, pouring energy down that right leg, out the heel. Another breath. And drop the knee down. Allow the hips to relax and release. Just feel the shoulders roll down. And he goes on about how he's like, a medallion member, traveler, and this delay is unacceptable. And the gate agent kind of looks out the window like, dude, I can't control the weather, right? So the guy storms back to his seat. Set those hips back, toes stay down. And inhale it forward. So a few minutes later, this little girl toddles over to this man. Exhale back, toes rise up. And if you just joined in, this is a story that I got out of What Happened to You. It's a true story told by Bruce Perry, a child psychiatrist. Inhale forward. And then the right hand comes down and the left arm just floats up, opening up. Feel yourself twisting open and exhale it down. So this little girl, 3 years old, puts her hands on this man's knees, this businessman wearing his suit, curl the toes under, heel pours back, and then ground the hands and step it back. And she puts her hands on his knees like, hey. And do you know what this man does? He picks up his newspaper and snaps it open. So like he's, on one side of the newspaper and she's standing still at his knees on the other side. Glide forward plank pose. And this little girl, her perspective is, people are good. People are fun. This must be a game. So she reaches out and tears the paper down. Like it's almost like it's peekaboo or something, right? Breathing here in your down dog. And in the book, Bruce Perry, step that right foot forward, says, ooh, this is going to be bad. And what happened? So the right knee is right over the ankle, hands framing the foot, pouring energy down that left leg, out the heel. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Drop the knee. What happened is she won him over. And darned if this man in his business suit doesn't play with this little girl for like 30 minutes. Bruce Perry shared at the end, he was literally on his hands and knees while she was, riding him like he was giving her horsey rides. And he's in his suit, crawling around in this dirty terminal. Step those hips back, fold over the leg. And the thing that's so interesting, and I'm going to refer to the book in a second just to make sure that I capture his points. But what he said is this little girl elicited what she believed to be true, right? Exhale it back, fold over the leg. Inhale forward. And the left hand comes down and the right arm reaches up. And the reason that I mention this is very often, we talk a lot about manifesting. Bring that hand down. And again, float it up, reach up, twist open, and hand comes down. But we really do. This isn't some, hippie kind of new agey thing, step the foot forward. We truly do manifest what we believe. And this little 3-year-old girl believed people are good. People are good. People are kind. And as a result, she manifested a kind version, a good version of this man, right? Releasing down, relaxing down. And just as, hands on the shins, come on up. Exhale down. And inhale those arms all the way up, reach up, lift up. Hands to the heart space. And bring the thumbs into the heart. Feel into the feet. Get grounded here. Get grounded, get steady. Really feeling yourself rooting down into the earth. Okay, maybe the palms shine forward in your Tadasana. Another breath. And inhale those arms out and up. And exhale down. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday or a few days ago. Classes kind of blend together. Inhale, arch up halfway. How we very often, we condition our brains to look for problems. Step it back. And what happens is this kind of bias, this kind of perspective means that sometimes we see problems where they truly don't exist or they don't have to exist, right? It's almost like we're manifesting these problems. And the irony, we're all seeking This is another thing I read out of the book. Come forward into plank pose. Bruce Perry talks about, actually, you know what? It wasn't Bruce Perry, it was Oprah. You know how many people Oprah has interviewed over her life? This is pretty amazing. She's been interviewing for 40 years. Come on up, back up into your down dog. She estimates, because she says it's impossible to truly count how many people she has interviewed, she estimates she has interviewed over 50,000 people. 50,000. That's amazing. Breathing here. Feeling the strength of the belly. Plugging the hands in. Another breath. And drop those knees. And come on back, Anahatasana. And what she says is absolutely uniform. All of the responses that people have is, am I doing okay? How was that? And Bruce Perry also says, we all want to have our lives matter. We want to have what we do matter, what we say matter, and what we think matter. That's so human. It's so incredibly normal, right? Head hangs heavy. Roll the head on the neck. And float that right leg back and up. Stretch it up. Roll the foot on the ankle. If you like your three-legged dog. If you don't do it. Stretching those toes up, 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 up. And then step that foot forward. Coming into your Vira 1. Take your time. Float it up. Step off in toward Virabhadrasana 3. Arms can go back like airplane wings. Good focused gaze. So in an effort to make our lives matter, in an effort to live lives of meaning, we're constantly trying to understand the world. Hands come down. And if it feels like, the ground is very far away, grab your block. Grab your block, right? Get your hands on that block. You can change the angle of it. Okay? Standing split. And then right hand comes down, opening up. Ardha Chandrasana. So we're constantly trying to understand the world. And the language that Anand uses, step it back. Anand Mehrotra, he's the teacher of a class that I've been taking for a few months now. Inhaling up, Vira 1, and open that heart, open the throat. Breathing here. Straighten that leg. Long edges of the feet, parallel long edges of the mat. Feet are hip width apart. Soften that right knee. And lead with the heart. Come on down. I definitely have a tendency, and I don't think I'm alone, to hyperextend this leg. So that knee just has the tiniest bit of a bend. Like if you look at me, my leg still looks pretty straight, but I'm not pressing into the back of the knee. Left hand comes down. Totally grab the block if this is what you need. Okay? You can also have the hands be on the hips. Okay? Do what you need here. And then we're going to float that right arm up. So the language that Anand uses is that we have this tendency in life to be reductionist, right? We use our five senses, understandable. Hands walk our ways forward and come back into your standing split. Lift that leg up. Reach it up and step it back. Float on up. Vira 1. Open the heart. And then hands either side of the foot. Come on down. So in order to understand the world, we break it into bits. You know, we use our sight, our sound, smell, touch, hearing, and we break the world down. Lifting the tailbone up, settling the head down. And let's come down into child's pose. But the irony is that when we break the world down, when we use just our 5 senses, is this reduction means that we lose the sense of kind of our connection to the quantum realm, our connection to the universal consciousness or the divine, depending on what language speaks most to you. Because we're boxing ourselves in, right? That's often our perspective. We box ourselves in. We reduce things down to things that are matter, as in things that can be touched, things that are tangible. Breathing here in your child's pose. Another breath. And then as you're ready, come on up. Plug the hands in, curl the toes, lift the hips. Down dog. And as study after study after study has proven, our senses, oh my gosh, right? It's amazing. Float that left leg back and up. You know, we can be so incredibly fooled by what we see or what we hear. Breathing here. Roll the foot on the ankle if that feels good. And step it forward, coming into your Vera 1. Take your time. Remember, you can always be a beat or two behind me. This is not a rush. Take your time. Open the heart. Another breath. Step off onto that left foot. So this perspective, coming into your Vera 3, arms back like airplane wings. Beautiful focused gaze. And then hands come down, maybe onto blocks. Standing split. And you might notice that one side is tighter than the other. For me, it's definitely this side. So normal. And then gently unfurl into your balancing half moon. Floating that top arm up, pouring energy down that right leg, out the heel. And then step it back. Vera 1, float up. Open the heart. And then straighten those legs. So, at the beginning of class, we talked about the tangled ball of yarn, right? Straight legs, soften the left knee, square the hips forward. We're going into our pyramid. So come on down. Possibly grabbing our block, if that would help us to hold on to our block. If we only have one block, we can put both hands like this, or we can have 2 blocks. Okay, folding down. Breathing here. So having a sense, the very first thing, the most powerful step is starting to just draw awareness to your perspective, to the fact that, the way that you walk through, hands come forward and float that leg up. I can't remember if we did twisted triangle or not. Did we do twisted triangle? Let's do it, just to make sure that we don't miss out. We didn't do it, did we? We didn't do it on the other side. Well, we'll do it on the left and we'll somehow move it in on the right. Breathing here. And comes down. Hands frame the foot. Step it back. tailbone rises up. Head hangs heavy. So this perspective, this kind of limited mindset, this egoic mind, because that's what we wind up with when we're constantly just, floating through life, basing our understanding of our world just on what we can see and touch and feel, on our ego, our egoic experience. Glide forward. We did do a twisted triangle. Good, I'm glad. Yay. Breathing. Here in our plank. And then drop those knees down. Hands under shoulders. Knees under hips. And float that left leg back and up. Stretch it up. Reach it up. And our right arm comes forward. So feel the strength of the back body. Feel the strength of the leg, the hip, the glute. Your choice if you want to just chill here in this, or if you want to reach back and grab the foot and push the foot into the hand, opening the heart. Another breath. And release down. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, lift. And exhale, arch. So with this sense of perspective, starting to ask yourself, where have I gotten myself kind of locked in? Where am I limiting myself? And the thing that, we often do, because we're going to talk in a sec about positionality. Bring that right leg back and up. Reach it up. Left arm stretches forward. And, the reason we do all of this, the way that we break down the world, the way that we kind of compartmentalize things, is we want to understand so that we feel safe. That's at the heart of all of this. Our brains are wired to do this. Reach back and catch the foot if you'd like. And breathe that foot up. Open the heart. Don't hold the breath. So you might be thinking, wait a second, I'm on pretty steady ground here. My persona, my sense of self is pretty set, and my perspective is pretty set. I'm a Democrat, I'm a mother, I'm a nonprofit leader. Come on, back into your child's pose. And you might be like, Laura, you're asking me to just, what? Throw all that in the trash can? What are you asking me here? The invitation here is to just start to recognize that the persona, that the perspective that we take, by its very nature is limiting. It limits us. It boxes us in. Breathing into your child's pose. Another breath. And let's come on up to a seat and swing the legs around. So this is where, if this work starts to make you feel really ungrounded, what's really helpful is to go back to the first chakra, to have your affirmation be, I am grounded, I am safe, right? First chakra is all about presence. It's about being here. So feet close up to the hips. Thigh bones are parallel. Let's bring our right ankle onto our left knee. Breathing here. Really flatten out the back heart. flatten out the shoulders. And walk the foot a little bit away, maybe like, I don't know, 8 inches, 10 inches, and come up onto the heel. Arms are alongside the body, palms down. We've never done this before. It's so fun. You're going to love it. They're like, oh no, she laughed. Is she being sarcastic? Another breath. And then we're going to pour energy into that left leg, and we're going to lift the hips up. And we're going to exhale it down. And we're going to inhale and lift. This is obviously really firing up the left glutes and the left leg, as if I needed to tell you that. You're like, thank you, Laura, for stating the obvious. Inhale the hips down. And exhale on the effort. Let's do one more. And come on down. Soles of the feet on the floor. You can kickstand those knees together if that feels good, or you can hug the knees in and rock it out. So this journey of self-discovery is about becoming more and more silent. And I've started listening to the wisdom lecture for our next chakra, our 6th chakra, the 3rd eye. Left ankle onto the right knee, because of course we have to do that fabulousness on the other side. So walk the foot out just a little bit, come up onto the heel, arms alongside the body, palms are down, okay? And we pour energy and exhale as we lift up on the effort, and then we inhale the hips down. Exhale on the effort. Inhale down. Let's do 3 more. One more. Oh, that's not easy, is it? Whew. Again, kickstand the knees together or bring the knees into the chest and rock it out. Swing those legs around. Hug those knees in. And we've touched lightly upon the positionalities in previous classes. And I know we're starting to run a little bit short on time. Windshield wiper those knees out to the side, look in the opposite direction. And inhale those knees up and go the other way. And effectively, positionalities are just when, we effectively figure out something about the world. Like, I love being a yoga teacher or whatever. And then we have a tendency to grip it really tight. There is a possibility that at some point in my life, I will no longer, this won't be the way I express myself in the world, being a yoga teacher, which is hard for me to even comprehend. See, that's me there gripping. But when we grip, when we hold on tight, it's almost like that persona becomes our cocoon or our armor, and that can constrain our growth. So just going back and forth, windshield wiper on those knees. And ultimately, that will hamper us in the long run. So that's how you can see that perspective and positionalities are related, right? So stretching the legs long, kicking my iPad, and bringing the arms out into a T posture. And I want you to really think about, lay here in this posture for a moment. Feel yourself open. Feel yourself taking up space. Feel your sense of worth melting down into the earth. And then bring that right arm up overhead. Oh, I got stuff in my way. And draw it around. And then bring the palm of the right hand onto the left and draw the fingers alongside the arm, all the way up and across the heart and out. So as if you're unfurling the petals of your heart, and remember how intimately linked. So we bring the arm around and overhead, right palm to the left, and unfurl as if you're unfurling your lotus. The heart and the throat are twin chakras. So we're unfurling the heart, which is the seat of love and abundance, so that we can connect more deeply to our truth, to our wisdom, which lives in Vishuddha. One more on this side. Feeling yourself just open up and just see with the most gentle, compassionate awareness, can this unfurling just let go of any rigidity you have around your persona, around your perspectives. And then just allow yourself to melt down, arms out, feet open, flopping open, taking up space, breathing. The color of the heart is green. The color of the throat is a turquoise blue. Maybe feeling tingling in the hands and the arms. And then as you're ready, we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So we're going to gently rainbow the arm overhead. And then palm to palm, kind of roll over so that you can go palm to palm and then lightly trace and have this feel really nice as if you're spreading love. Fingers are soft and open up. Again, arm overhead. Breathe into the shoulders. The shoulders and the arms are extensions of Anahata Chakra, the heart chakra. Unfurling the lotus that lives at the heart. Two more. And just see with this gentle, compassionate movement, can you let go of a perspective or a position or part of your persona that does not serve you? Last one. Opening the heart. And just allow yourself to now melt down into your Shavasana. Continuing to take up a lot of space if that's comfortable to you, or taking more of a traditional arm set for Shavasana. Arranging your body as you need to in order to feel comfortable. And then allow yourself to melt down. Allowing the body to be heavy and soft. Eyes are closed.
So today's poem is from Dana, and the title of it is Lay the Armor Down. Dana writes, arriving back from the fields of battle, bruised and bolder, we are beholden to no one now. Losing or winning, the reasons for the war fade quickly in the memory. We've forgotten that these suits of armor are not our second skins. Smiling, we set aside the shields and swords, remove the face masks, begin to peel away the layers of weight and protection. When finally we cast our armor to the ground, it feels as if our bodies grow and straighten, swell and lengthen upward toward the sun. We run light and unencumbered and stretch the stiffness from our joints. Rolling on the grass, we laugh as awkward limbs remember freedom. When at last we return to where we started, without a second glance, we know that we've outgrown the suits of armor. We won't fit inside those too tight shells again. Why would we even try? Breathing here. Bringing movement back to the body. Wiggling fingers and toes. Rolling the head on the neck. Rolling the hands on the wrists. And then roll over onto the right side, cradling the heart. And hug yourself here, knowing that it's so incredibly human and understandable for you to seek the protection of the persona. To put on this armor, that's the way we've been taught to show up in the world. So natural, so understandable, so incredibly human. But now we have the opportunity to start just setting those things aside, those things that constrain us, constrain our growth. So as you're ready, giving yourself the biggest hug, lots of compassionate love, and carefully pressing yourself up into an easy seat. And let's take a nice big inhale.